Hey everybody, welcome back to Travel Trailer Nation. Today, it's just a glimpse into the beautiful campground, Cliffside Park in Racine County, Wisconsin. So let's take a look. As I mentioned in the previous clip, I'm going to show you Cliffside Park. And so what I'm going to show you is basically some panning of the grounds, and I will also show you the walk back to the overlook of Lake Michigan, which I've always taken my girls, and by girls I mean my puppies too, every year and gotten a picture. As you can hear, there's mowing going on in the background, and that's pretty typical here. They are really fastidious about the grounds for the most part. There are a few trees at different sites, in particular site 1, which really ought to be taken down because it's dead, and eventually it will go over and damage whoever camper is just happened to be there at the time. But for us, the site that we're in, which is 3 right now, is actually beautiful. We're getting a little bit of satellite. It doesn't matter. We'll be switching to site 2 on the 15th, which is great because I think it's going to be a nicer site. I'm in the screen room right now, obviously. Temperature's about 60. It's pretty beautiful. I wanted to give you guys just a quick of the good, the bad, and the sketchy at the park, so you kind of know what you're in for. The good is, as I mentioned, the grounds are beautiful. The sites are just incredible. It would be hard to find a bad site here, to be quite honest. Now, there are no pull-through, it's all back in, but they give you plenty of room to do it. And with this much space between the trailers, you don't have to really worry too much about, having privacy. The bad is basically related to, and I don't want to be too judgmental here, but I don't think that the camp hosts are really driving around and seeing some of the things that are going on here. There's been at least 4 or 5 people that I've noticed that have been letting their dogs run off leash at their sites, which is against the rules, and no one seems to be enforcing it. I went over and had a talk with my neighbor because their dogs came up to the back of the trailer, and if they come into my area, Eva is going to be a very unhappy dog, and I don't need that. I don't need their dog running in here and attacking my dog. So I did have a talk with them, but it didn't change much, unfortunately. So that's kind of the bad. I can't think of anything else that I would cite as being very bad here. I just think they need better management. They need probably hosts that are more engaged than just putting the stickers on the site saying, who it's reserved for. The sketchy is a little more interesting. Eva and I were out for a morning constitutional the other day, and it was about 5:30, pitch black out, and I was picking up after her, and I was just around the curve down here, and she let loose barking, and I mean, she was pissed. And there was a real sketchy character that came out of the woods at 5:30 in the morning. Now, that little trail through the woods leads to another parking lot. This guy, if you saw him, you'd agree with me that he was super sketchy. I'm not sure what's going on in the other lot. He was probably cutting through the woods to use the restroom here. That would be my guess. That's the second sketchy thing that's happened to us over the last few years. A little over a year ago, we had some guy come through the same path and said he had been to the lake and had a bunch of rocks and pebbles in his pocket, and came up to our table and started to talk about how unusual they were, and it was weird. I didn't really feel threatened or anything. Now, the guy the other morning, that could have gotten ugly fast. But no one's going to take on a German Shepherd, I don't think, and I'm sure she would have protected me. At that moment, I was thinking, I probably should have had my mace with me. I didn't. But this guy was just kind of, I don't know. It was just the whole incident was bizarre. He hung around for about 10 minutes, and I talked to him, and it was okay. But it was just a little on the sketchy side. So you have to be kind of aware that you're out in the middle of nowhere here, and hey, something sketchy could happen. But other than that, I mean, I'm happy to take the risk every time I come here because I love this campground. But I do think they need more oversight, and that's all I'm going to say about that. So without further ado, I'm going to let you see the film of the campground. It's not the entire campground. You're going to see about half of it when I'm doing the panning around. It all is very much the same. And then you'll see the path that we take back to Lake Michigan, which is about 3/4 of a mile to a mile walk, I think. It's hard to tell, but that would be my guess. Again, I can't recommend this campground enough. It is just wonderful, and I think it's kind of a hidden gem here in southern Wisconsin. So that's it. Here you go. This is the trail that leads to Lake Michigan, and it is, yeah, I would say it's probably about a good mile and a half walk maybe to the lake. We always go there with the girls and get a yearly picture, so Eva's gonna get her picture taken there. We tried last year, but it was so rained out in the spring that we couldn't make it, so hopefully this works out just fine. This is sunrise from Cliffside Park at Lake Michigan. Absolutely gorgeous.